Welcome to another episode of Mortgage Masterminds. I'm your host, Richard Greaser, VP of Marketing, and my guest today is Tom Cruise, talking about his new movie, Top Gun Maverick. I'm just kidding. Our guest today is Khash Saghafi. He's the owner. He runs Liberty Home Mortgage. He's also a loan officer. He has a huge team. He's a big deal. We're going to get into that in just a second. But just a quick ramble. In case you don't know, what Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach are, you've been living under a rock since 2017. Sales Boomerang notifies lenders the moment a borrower needs a loan, and Mortgage Coach makes the choice very simple, fast, and provides clarity to the borrower. So if you want to learn more about Sales Boomerang or Mortgage Coach, go to the websites, check us out. We'd love to have a strategy session, talk to you. And without further ado, Khash, thanks for joining us, man.
You're too kind, Richard. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, look, the reason I called you out for being Tom Cruise is you've got Top Gun playing in the background, and I know that because you showed that to me really quick before we started.
That's about 10 feet off my left shoulder right now, yes.
Pretty awesome. That's one of the best movies I've seen this year. Well, actually in the last couple of years, I think. So, yeah, good choice.
I haven't seen, this is the first time I'm seeing it here in the office. A lot of the guys have seen it, of course. I collect bits and pieces because I'm originating loans, so I look over my shoulder, watch TV, and that's what we do. We do it all day. We always close the day with Rocky IV. Rocky IV is the closeout. Fridays is Batman Fridays. We watch the trilogy. Batman Begins, Batman Returns, and then the one with Bane, which is Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
So that's Friday, and then the rest of the week it's like a hot right now. So we're doing Top Gun, the new Top Gun here, and then I don't know, maybe we do Commando after this one or something like that. The guys always choose. We just do different things. Terminator. I was born in 73, so I'm 49 years old. So I love everything about the 80s. So
man, me too.
Terminator. Just all of those.
Predator, all of those.
We watched Predator on Friday. I think we watched Predator.
That's
so
awesome.
We started at like 8 in the morning. The guys get it at 7:30. So the movie starts at 7:30, then we end with Rocky IV, which closes out the day. But anyways.
So you guys don't have fun.
The thing is I've switched my whole mentality business-wise. As a matter of fact, it's funny that we even talk about it sort of. I was talking to my buddy who owns an elevator company in Oklahoma, and he was talking about his operational people. His operational people are his service people. They fix elevators, whatever it's what they do. It's an elevator company. So we were talking about how, when it comes to motivating salespeople, it's easy for me to talk to because I just talk about money. A salesperson, my guy, in the mortgage industry, really in any industry of sales, if you're good enough, you can become a billionaire, for God's sakes. You really could.
Yeah.
In any sales industry. So it's easy to talk to salespeople and motivate them, in my opinion, because you just talk about money. It's just, hey guys, make more calls, make more dials, get Sales Boomerang, stick with the Mortgage Coach. Like your customer follow-up, your customer retention is so critical. Like my greatest fault, I've done this for 23 years now, and I'm a loan officer still, whatever. And my number one fault is my customer retention. I'm horrific. I don't need to say horrible, horrific, like horrible. I write books on how not to retain customers because typically in mortgages, it's one and done. I get done. I'm probably not touching them again for 3 to 5 years. So my attitude is what the hell do I care? I don't even know if I'll be alive or in the industry in 5 years. Well, 5 years goes by and you're thinking, holy crap, what happened to all those customers I did business with 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? We worked so hard to get new business. You only have to probably put forth 30% of the same effort to retain your current book of business. Your biggest cheerleaders are the people you've done business for. Now, granted, I pissed off 20% of those and they hate my guts, but there's 80% of my previous customers that love me to death, and they're my biggest cheerleaders, but those are the ones that I don't spend any time retaining, nurturing, farming, grooming, whatever. And that's, of course, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch for Sales Boomerang either. I'm just being completely honest with you.
You're doing a hell of a good job. Let's do this. I'll do some math with you right now because I know the numbers. How many folks have you done loans for in existence that you've got in a database that you've done loans for or you've talked to, credit turn downs, literally everybody you've got in a database? What's the number?
I use a database called Sendout Cards. I don't want to cross-promote. I'm not trying to promote anything else, but I use a database called Sendout Cards.
Yeah.
And I send like little cards out to them, right? I've got 2,700 people in my database. And by the way, that's not my complete database of loans of 23 years. I didn't start Sendout Cards until 2008, and then I stopped it 2011, and then I went back in 2015, and by the grace of God, they were able to salvage a big portion of my database when I recently went back into it a year ago. So I got 2,700 right now. These are all former customers.
So I'll do the math. I've got my cell phone out. I'll do the math with you. So there's 2,700 times 4% that are alerting on a monthly basis for all of our different alerts and the intelligence. Someone needs a cash out. Someone's listed their home, all the different reasons. They've done a mortgage inquiry with another person. That's 108 people, right? And then we see our average application from those alerts is about 5%. So that's about 5 applications a month you'd be getting, roughly, from a borrower intelligence solution. And then, I don't know, what's your pull-through look like, app to funded?
What's crazy is I'm a numbers person, but I don't track like I personally used to. My operations manager for my company, he's got every damn data and statistic on the planet Earth. But me personally, I lose track. But you're like giving me like
I'll tell you
right now.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Yeah,
but if that's 5 applications a month, average pull through is between 50%, 70%. So that's like 2 to 3 loans a month, funded loans a month. You could be adding to the business freebies
and those
from your past database. Oh yeah, and you probably know them, right?
Qualified, and I can go on for 20 hours. Now, when the question becomes, well, Hesh, why do you do such a bad job of doing that if you know it? It's like anything. So this is what I was talking to my buddy about, and this is what I was talking to. I'm a volunteer assistant at Brecksville High School. It's a Brecksville in Cleveland, south side of Cleveland, whatever. How do you get somebody to want to do something? Because until you want to do it, I could scream at Now, 20 years ago, I ran my business a completely different way. I thought, no, I'll just motivate by shoving my foot right in the rear end. I'm a negative reinforcement guy. My whole life has been negative reinforcement. My dad would say, when my dad, he goes to work, if I come home tonight and the grass isn't cut, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Well, my dad never hit me. There was never physical violence, but there was always that specter of like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. So I got to go cut the grass. So if you don't do this, something bad happens. Well, then I wrestled on top of it. And then I got into college wrestling. And of course, our wrestling coach in college would be, if you guys don't do this, I'm going to make you run 20 miles.
I would say most sports and most, I would say like the military, most folks, it is that kind of reinforcement. They're not giving cookies out for doing the right thing, right? They're like, here's a bag of cookies,
Thank you. So it's not just me. But reality is what I've come to the conclusion of business is unfortunate. I say unfortunate. There's not a place for negative reinforcement in business. So I switched my whole style around about 7-8 years ago to, you can see a little bit in my background. We got the lights. We had the public for Christmas. We had over 200 Christmas trees in our building last year.
Wow.
And we had the public come in. We opened up the building to the public.
Well, Khash, tell everybody what's your company look like? People don't know. So what does your company look like? Because you're super active on social media. You're hiring like crazy. And we'll get into that in a second.
Right now, I have about 250 employees. So I'm a mortgage banker. We underwrite everything in-house. We lend in 45 states. I'm based out of Cleveland, Ohio. And I have about 250 employees. I've done this job for 23 years. And I started with just myself and my processor, Melissa Smith. She's now my vice president. And quite honestly, like the difference between me today, business-wise, and me 20 years ago was 20 years ago, I was like, now mind you, I'm also 49 years old. So 20 years ago, I was 29 years old.
Yeah. And
my background is in biology. My undergraduate degree is in biology. So I'm a science guy. I never had a class in business. So 20 years ago, it was, we've got to hire 10 people by August 1st and whatever. Today, and since I opened the company here 8 years ago, because HUD changed the net worth requirements in 2010 to be a mortgage banker, so it took me a while to save up that amount of money to get to where I am. So I had to go work at shut my brokerage down, go work at a couple places, then save up the money to get to where I am. And here I am, opened this company 8 years ago. So ever since I opened this company, if I hire another person, I hire them. If I don't, I don't. I have no timetables. I have no time frames of we need 20, we need this. We don't need anything. I just need everybody to show up today and be happy. So my company philosophy today, and it took me 7 years to figure this out, by the way, is the employee experience. If you said, Hash, describe what your company is about, it's the employee experience. It's not even mortgage loans. I mean, of course we do mortgage loans. We're a mortgage lender. But if you said, Hash, give me your elevator pitch. Simple. We're all about the employees. That's it. I'm done. That's it. All I'm about is my employees. My number one focus walking in the office today was stress relief for my employees. It's all I care about. Richard Branson said it. He said, I do not believe in putting the customer first. I put the employee first. Because if you take care of the employee takes care of the customer. 20 years ago, I was customer centric. It was all about the customers. Hey, you guys got to do this. It's all about our customers, all about our customers, whatever. Well, that goes without saying, for God's sakes. I mean, if no one's going to buy another Ford Motors vehicle, guess what? They can have the happiest employees in the world. They're not going to have a business. I'm employee centric now. Employee centric. Everything I do is to focus on the employee, their mental well-being. Hell, my one brother's a doctor. He's a neurologist. And I actually talked to him last year about this. I said, we have like a full-time chef here. We've got some different stuff, whatever. I said to my brother, I want to hire either a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I'm not sure which is which. And he said, what's your goal? And I said, it's the emotional well-being of my employees. I said, listen, man, I got like 200, 300 people here. And I said, I know that their personal business outside of this place screws up their sales inside of this place, which affects, when they bring in their, they broke up with their girlfriend, they're fighting with their husband, wife, they're doing God knows what they're doing, right? They bring it inside of the walls, it screws things up. It's just reality. So I said, look, if I could provide some sort of emotional support for them, whatever. He said, listen, a psychiatrist, what was it? He said, a psychiatrist will medicate your whole company and he'll have the whole place asleep by 12 o'clock in the afternoon. He said, a psychologist will convince everybody that they've got a problem. And you don't so much want that. He said, what you really want is like a life coach, sports coach, a sales coach along those. That's what you want. Now, keep in mind, he's a neurologist. He's the head of neurology at VA Hospital here in Cleveland. Something I lose track. I don't know. So that he was like, you want like a sales coach. That's what you want. And I was like, all right, cool. We had one from Sandler Training, and we have one, Matt Lovetek, love Matt to death. Well, so then we open that up to my people. Like, hey, if you guys got stuff you want to talk to Matt about, whatever it is. So, I mean, I'm all about the employees today, and it's worked a lot better than 20 years ago when I was just no music, no sound. Like right now, you can't hear it because you're on my headset, but we have music playing throughout the entire building. We have those jukeboxes you see in bars. They're called
Yeah, that's cool. It sounds like an incredible company culture, man. Gosh, can I just say, I just like letting you go, man. You just go. And I love it, man. It's so entertaining. Don't apologize. That's your gift, man. That's freaking amazing. So you were talking to me earlier about how you were coaching a lot of your team, your loan officers, on what to do with their money. I mean, they had a really good year last year. And then we're going into this year, right, where it's just harder, right? People are still doing purchase business, lots of purchase business, but it's definitely not what we were doing last year. And so just talk a little bit about how you talked to your team about, these huge checks they were making and what you were telling them to do with it.
Like today, I'm giving every Monday at 11 a.m., I give a talk to my salespeople, those who want to come in and listen to me. It's all voluntary. They don't have to come and listen. And every Friday, I give a talk to my ops. Like today's talk, right now, while we're doing this right now, my talk is in 40 minutes. Today's talk is just going to be about the mental side of this market now has moved to where our wheelhouse is, which is first-time home buyers. This has not been a first-time home buyer market for the last 9 months.
Yes.
Now it's shifting. So this is playing right into our wheelhouse. Like I tell my people all the time, so you guys, there's a video of Bill Parcells talking to he was the head coach of the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, but in the 80s, he was the head coach of the New York Giants.
Yep.
Won a couple of Super Bowls. There's a video of him talking to the guys on the sidelines, and Lawrence Taylor's there, and it's from the 80s. And he says, this is why you lift all those weights. This is why you do what you do. And this is why I tell my guys all the time. He say, guys, this moment now, this is why we do all that training. This is why I tell you to save your money for a rainy day. This is why I tell you watch the clothes, the cars, the jewelry, the vacations during the big times. This is the reason why. This is what we train for now. Everybody's great when times are great. I'm the nicest guy in the world when times are great. I'm making a ton of money. You're like, for God's sakes, you should be the Pope or something like that. But when the grind hits and you get into the weeds and the trenches and it gets difficult, that's when you find out the truth about somebody. It's like anything. It's like you find out the truth about an employee or even an employer. It's not when they're coming, it's when they're going.
Oh, for sure.
And I've had employees, would sing me praises, when they're coming in and they're here, and then all of a sudden they leave, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second, my God, I didn't know I was that evil to the person or something like that. So I mean, so what I tell my people now is this is the grind. I told my people, Rich, back in December, which right now it's July. I told back this December, I said, whatever you guys made this year in 21, take 40% of that number. That's what you're going to make in 22. Get ready to crawl on your hands and knees through the dirt. There's going to be hell on earth. But this is what we're preparing for. And every month we're going to be crawling through the year. But you just have to stay focused. It's daily executions. I'm actually going to do a video on it tomorrow, where I always tell people, I've done this for 23 years. In 23 years, Rich, I've almost declared bankruptcy twice. 2 times my attorney, Dave Weilbacher, gave me what are called the intake papers. Now, for anyone who has never declared bankruptcy or even looked at it, they wouldn't know how that is. But the intake papers are the papers you fill out of all of your assets and liabilities to present for when you go to file bankruptcy. So 2 times, I was literally, Dave gave me the intake papers. I should fill this out and give it back to him to file Chapter 7. I had $54,000 in credit card debt in May of 2002. Dave gave me the intake papers then. And then I had $600,000 of credit card debt in March of 2009.
So you were 29 in 2002, huh?
In 2002, yeah, I'm 49 right now. So I mean, 20 years ago? Yeah, I was 29 years old.
29. Yeah.
I
$29,000, $54,000 in credit card debt. That sounds scary.
I just started my company.
Yeah.
So I never, I bought $30,000 in equipment. It's the phone system. I remember when I had to pay $5,000 for our phone system, and the phone guy called and was like, Khash, there's no phone system in your office. It was a commercial space. I never rented a commercial space before, so I didn't know. And I said, what do you mean? I got all the phones, just go plug them into the wall. And he's like, well, Khash, you need, this just comes from the spoiled kid from the suburb, right, with rich parents. I can't say my parents were rich, but we had a good life. I mean, my parents were doctors and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's I don't know. I thought you rent an office space and you take your phone and you plug it into the damn wall and you pick up the phone and start making your calls. But then you go into a commercial space and you find out, no, you need a system to run that thing. That was $5,000. So guess where it went? It went on my credit card. I was like, you take First USA Visa?
Yeah.
So everything was on my credit card. Hey, Khash, we need computers. What the hell you want me to do? Go buy one. Go buy one with what? Here's my credit card. Go buy it. So yeah, when I opened my company up in 2002, that was that mess. And then of course I paid it all off. I didn't go back. I never went bankrupt, but I was close. So in those moments when I was struggling, ultimately, and this was the key to answer your question 12 minutes after you asked the question, of course, is I focused on my daily tasks. In 2020, after COVID, when you got in the June of 20, June, July, August of 20, that's when this industry was just mass insanity. It was raining money. It was crazy, right? And through 21 also, whatever. Just not as much in 21. 20 was crazy.
It's just a question of how much money do you want to make, really, is what it came down to.
That was it. That was it. How much you willing to put in, how much you willing to want to get out of it. And in that time, I was forward thinking, okay, let's look 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, 2 years down the road. Let's structure this company. Because right now I have the luxury of I have enough money. We're making money. The pipeline's strong, whatever it is. In times like today, where we might be out of business by 2:00 this afternoon, all I'm worried about is my daily actions today. That's all I care about. So to all the loan officers out there watching this and they're, Khash, how do I get purchases? I'm struggling. I'm this, I'm that, whatever. But here, number one, narrow your focus to today. I don't care about tomorrow. When I had $600,000 in credit card debt, how did I end up paying all of that off? Simple. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Yeah. I never looked at the totality of the debt. If I'd have looked at the totality of $600,000, by the way, in March of 2009, that was not yet the peak. The peak of the foreclosure crisis and the unemployment crisis was 2010, actually. The Great Recession was 2007, early 2009, I think it was. Something like that. I lose track of the time frames. But in March of 2009, it was raining fire in this industry. Every night on CNN was the foreclosure crisis, the mortgage meltdown, the subprime crisis. They were just beating the hell out of our industry. So to have $600,000 in credit card debt, and you talk about having your back up against the wall, I couldn't look at the total. If I'd have looked at the total picture of where I was financially, I'd have quit. I'd have quit easy. So then it was just one day at a time. I got to make 20 phone calls. I got to have 4 good conversations, and that's it. That's all I got to do. And I get through the day, boom, and then I go to the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That's how I got through that time, and that's how I tell people at 11 o'clock this morning, I'll be talking again to my people. That's how you get through this time, is focus on your actions, get way more granular. When times are big and fat, pipeline's cranking, the money's out there, it's all this. You don't have to be as granular. I still think you have to be granular, quite honestly. My vice president told me the biggest problem I need to work on is like we just had a great June, right? And she knew this was coming on Friday when she told me the number that we closed out for the month with. She was like, it was a great month, whatever. She knew it was coming. I just can't help it. My first question is how's July? Like, it sounds bad, but I don't celebrate the moments as much as I should. But I don't know. Talk to any high level athlete or
our leadership team has the exact same mentality. You know, okay, let's look at the next month. You got to celebrate and take time to celebrate the wins for sure. But anybody who's really focused on running a business knows you got to keep planning for the future constantly, right? Like, how's July look? How's August going to look? You know,
you have to, especially as the captain of the ship. I don't want the captain of the ship celebrating when we just hit calm waters, because there might be an iceberg 100 feet ahead. That dude better be looking like I've always said this. I say, if I'm on an airplane, I don't want to board an airplane and look into the cockpit and see the captain with his feet up with coffee in his hand, like sleeping.
Yeah.
That dude, when somebody sneezes, I want his head to hit the damn ceiling. That's the captain of the plane. Now the passengers can celebrate, hang out, and sleep, do whatever it is. But the captain of the plane can't. Besides that, go ask Michael Jordan when you won your NBA title, what was the first thought in his head? And you want to know the truth? The truth is, he'll say it was on next year already.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just reality. So, I mean,
yeah, I saw that. What's his documentary? He said exactly that in his documentary, The Last Dance.
I never saw that, but it's called The Last Dance. I never watched it. People always like, "Hush, you got to watch The Last Dance."
Yeah,
I don't know. Like they also
you got to see it just. You got to see it just so you see the way he talks about his nemesis, Isaiah Thomas. Man, those dudes do not like each other. To this day, they hate each other. That's what makes it. Thomas. Yeah, but no, I like him too, but not Michael Jordan doesn't. You know, that's what was so interesting is these guys take it seriously. Like, this isn't a joke for them. This is their life. You know what I mean? And for the rest of his life, he hates that guy. You know,
it's the way it is. I mean, my buddy, I wrestled with in college. We talk about this stuff all the time. He was a national finalist, and I asked him, because he tells me how you got to celebrate victory a little bit more here and there. And I said, when you won in the national semis and they raised your hand, did you celebrate for 4 seconds? I knew the answer already. It was no. It was I had to get ready for the finals. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's the way it is. At the end of the day, to circle it back to what your question was again, was focus on right now you got to get granular. It's an action by action thing, and it's difficult. I should make 10 more phone calls today than I'm planning on making. You know, it's we all got to do that. You've got to shake the bushes more. You know, mortgage coach, get out there to more loan officers and educate them on why customer retention is more critical than ever.
Yep.
Because now when they're fighting and scrapping for each deal, it's like, hey, dude, you'd have taken a free deal right now. And I'll tell you what, had you had sales boomerang in 2020, you'd have that deal. I get my customers, I mean, I get a lot of repeat business. I mean, I do. I really do. I should get more. And that's why I struggle saying I do, because I should be getting more than I get, but I do get. I probably get 2 to 3 deals a month of old customers pretty comfortably, easily. And I probably get another 1 to 2, because I generally, historically, I've always closed around 250 loans a year. So I average about 20 a month, give or take a little bit. It depends on, I don't know. It just depends. I've done more in some years and less in other years.
Yeah.
Whatever. But generally 20 a month, give or take a little bit. And, 2 to 3 are old customers coming back to refinance. 1 or 2 are old customers coming back to buy. And 1 or 2 are referred family members of old customers. So probably 5 to 6 out of 20 are on a consistent basis are my old customers. Because I always beat myself up and say I do a bad job, but I probably do a good job, but I need to do better. I probably do better than most. But again, programs like you have, I mean, it's critical. I can't, those are the things that loan officers, I'm reading a book right now. In 28 years, I only read 2 books. And I used to be the guy people say, Hesh, do you read? Because they'd see me talk and speak and do stuff like that. They'd be like, oh, Hesh, you must read books. I say, no, I hate, I despise, I can't stand it. 2 books in 28 years. Well, in 2000, I think it was 2000, 18, I think it was, I just reached a conclusion of like, I watched these talks by like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and all these famous speakers and stuff like that. And the one thing that that was always consistent was they read books. So I just said, well, for me to go to the next level, I got to read. And I was hated reading. And then I started reading. And honestly, I think I've read over 150 books in the last 3 years. I probably read almost, I mean, right now I'm only reading about a book a month right now for the last 6 months. But last year I was reading a book a week. And right now I'm reading a book by Jim Collins. Jim Collins, man, that dude wrote Good to Great, Built to Last, and the book I'm reading right now, How the Mighty Fall. And one of the things about How the Mighty Fall is they get complacent. Don't get too full of yourself. Don't think you've made it. Once you think you've made it, you're going down. But man, Jim Collins, those 3 books are critical. Like Built to Last and Good to Great.
Good to Great I read. I didn't read Built to Last, and I didn't even know about How the Mighty Fall.
Oh, it's I don't know. The dude's just an awesome author. I'm not even into authors.
Yeah.
Like all of the books I read are geared towards mental strength processes. I'm a science guy, so I like steps. Here's 7 steps to this. Give me. I want the formula. Like, tell me what to do. I'm very robotic. Tell me what to do. Make 12 calls today. Go over there, push that button, send that email. I'm very scheduled. I need to see it like that. That's how I am. And those are the books I read.
I think most people are, right? I mean, I think that's why things that work in terms of clickbait, we'll call them on the internet, are like 5 steps to success or 3 things you can do right now to lower your blood pressure, all kinds of stuff like that. People click on them because they're like, oh, I can follow 3 steps. Oh, I can digest 5 things, Totally makes sense.
And that's the hard thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I just wanted to give you a chance to do a quick plug for yourself if any loan officers are listening right now, because you got companies like, First Guarantee Mortgage Corporation and stuff, laying off lots of folks. You know what I mean? A lot of lenders are going through tough times. If you just go to your LinkedIn profile, anyone can see you're actually recruiting. You're looking for folk like producers. You're looking at people who are just like loan officers. Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Ops right now, I'm not looking at ops myself, but for anybody watching me, I mean, if anybody needs an accountability partner, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not a coach. It's not what I do. That's what you do. That's what your company does. And I've had people call me and say, Hash, can you mentor me? And I say, no, because like you couldn't pay me enough. I'm a loan officer. You want to buy a house or refinance? Call me. I'll do that all day long. I'll put the phone at you. But you want me to coach you? Like that's not my thing. And it's not even like, it's going to give me $1,000 a month for it. No, because you need a coach. I'm convinced of this, is when you go to hire a coach, it's got to be somebody or something that's what they do. Like it's what they do. And I've always told people, LeBron James needs a coach. Tom Brady needs a coach. I was watching Novak Djokovic yesterday in Wimbledon. He needs a coach. He has a coach. I found out Boris Becker just got sentenced to prison for God's sakes, but he was Djokovic's coach back in 2013. If that's not crazy. Boris Becker, won 6 titles.
Yeah, I saw that too. Crazy.
And then nuts, like he did not disclose all of his assets during a bankruptcy filing. That's why they nailed him. Hello to the intake papers. I'm telling you, my attorney's like, Hash, you gotta list everything. So, anyways, but I call them accountability partners. If you have an accountability partner, if it's like, hey, I'm going to make 10 calls today, you make 10 calls today. I'm very big on small goals too, by the way. I'm not the guy that's like, okay, everybody, let's do 50 dials today. No, screw that, man. Let's do 1. Just do 1, check off the box, and then cool. Is typically what you find out. And by the way, there's a book called Atomic Habits. That's a great book. Atomic Habits is a really ridiculously. I've got my list of books that are like my best ever. Atomic Habits is one of them.
Accountability partners, is that a phrase that you stole from someone, or is that something you're inventing yourself? Because I'm going to steal it from you.
I sincerely appreciate it. I guarantee I stole it from a book. I guarantee it. I've invented nothing myself. Everything I say is something I've read, I've seen, or taken from somebody else.
Hey, I'm transparent about it. I'm telling you straight up, like, hey, I'm stealing this.
I sincerely appreciate it. And I'll be the source of it. So, but accountability partners, it's everything I do today, honestly, is from the sport of wrestling. I wrestled. I always talk about wrestling on my posts and this and that and the other. I wrestle. in wrestling, it was like I went to Oklahoma State, which is the mecca of wrestling. Now Penn State's beaten us for the last 10 years. God bless them. That's great. Try for
Razorbacks, yeah.
for the next 50.
Oh wait, no, that's Arkansas.
So no, that's okay though.
That's okay. Wait, yeah. Sorry, what is Oklahoma?
Oklahoma State are the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We're the Cowboys.
Got it.
Everything I do is wrestling related. Well, when I went to Oklahoma State and wrestled, I was lucky because my college coach won 2 Olympic gold medals and 6 world titles. My other coach, Kenny Monday, won Olympic gold, Olympic silver, 3 world titles. Kendall Cross won the Olympics. I mean, these are the people that I trained that trained me. And then all of my teammates, half of my teammates are in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. So I was lucky to be around a group of people who had a goal to be the best. And I just took that and applied it to mortgages. And when I tell, so from an accountability standpoint, when I would call my buddy, one of my drilling partners, Steven Schmidt, I'd call Steven, hey, let's meet at the arena. We'd go out to the tumbleweed at 2 a.m. and headed back from the tumbleweed at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd stop at the arena and get a workout in. But that's because I had a partner. It's way easier to do that when you've got Pat Smith, the first 4-time national champion in NCAA history, driving the car saying, hey, let's go to the arena. Let's get a workout in at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So, accountability partners, it's somebody that holds you accountable, and they're small. It could be small. It could just be like, hey, let's do 5 calls today. Let's do 1 call today. Send out 1 email today. Those are accountability partners. As far as loan officers watching me, people watching me, I'm just always available for anything. Just like, I don't know. The big question I always ask people is how can I help you? I'm not worried about I don't even know. I'm not worried about anything. I just want to try to help people. And I'm not Mother Teresa. I never claimed to be. God bless her. But it's just, it's a giver's gain mentality. It's just give as much as you can. I have no secrets. I'm doing a seminar this Thursday for real estate agents. We'll probably have 200 to 300 real estate agents on my Zoom call. I've done these for 18 years. With COVID, it moved me to Zoom. And I generally average anywhere from 200 to 700 real estate agents on it. It's Thursday, 8 to 10 a.m., the first Thursday of every month. The topic this month is it's laws everybody should know. So it's 2 hours. It's me.
How do you get them on there? How are you reaching out? Is that secret sauce or?
I send it. Oh God, I got no secrets, man. I give it I literally, if there's a loan officer watching and you want to give continuing education to real estate agents, because I've done it for 18 years. This is how I get all my business. So I got approved for continuing education. My courses are approved in Ohio and Oklahoma. I've got to fill out like this thing here. If I fill this out, this will get me approved in Virginia. I just have to fill the damn thing out, but I haven't get around to it yet. So anyways, I've done it for 18 years. I send out an email blast to every agent in Ohio and Oklahoma. You go to realestateagentlist.com and you buy the list there for $400. You'll buy every single real estate agent in the state of Ohio. So I blast them my seminar topics, and then they get continuing education, and they're stuck for 2 hours listening to me talk. I mean, if you register, it's the website to register that you can watch, or any loan officer can watch. It's www.ohioce.net. C is like continuing education. ohioce.net. You go and register. It'll send you an email with a link to get into Zoom. And any loan officer watching, or even Rich, you watch the first 10 minutes. Ooh, I'm gonna be wearing. I got a special T-shirt I bought for this Thursday. You'll have to join in to see what the T-shirt is, though.
I will. Yeah.
So then you join in, you watch, whatever. It's 2 hours. You can come for 10 minutes. Watch the first 10 minutes because you'll love it. I'm gonna be telling some crazy stories. But anyways, I do my seminars and I get 200 to 700 agents, and then those agents, I get business from them. They call me with business.
You're as wild and interesting as you are right now on those, right? It's not like some buttoned up version of Cash.
Watch.
Okay.
Watch is what I can tell you.
So that's Thursday, 8 to 10.
8 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. This Thursday, it's the first Thursday of every month.
So that's the 7th.
So
okay.
You could literally join in, Rich, for the first 10 minutes and just bounce back out. Just watch it. If you're a loan officer, I tell loan officers this. Watch what I do. Just watch the first 10, 20 minutes. Who cares? You don't have to sit there for 2 hours. Who the hell wants to listen to me talk about RESPA? Real Estate Selling Procedures Act, Consumer Protection Statute passed in 1974, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But nonetheless, I talk about it. It's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
I got some crazy stories, though. You wait until you hear the stories I tell on Thursday morning to start this thing off, to convince people this is why you have to pay attention to the laws. So I do these seminars, but as far as secret sauce goes, Rich, any loan officer that wants, I literally, Rich, I will give you my material that I typed up myself. You could have it. do whatever the hell you want with it. I will give you here. This is the state of Virginia. This is to get approved for CE in the state of Virginia. I will give you the blueprint, the processes, every damn step. I'll give it to you if you live in Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I'm at right now, and you can do the same seminar I do. And do you want to know the truth? There's like 13,000 agents in Northeast Ohio. The chances that we overlap is like infinity to a million billion zero. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I'm not doing anything special. Like you can have my material, you can have everything. I'll tell you everything I do. I'll tell you what I spend, what I make, who I'm, whatever. Because the truth is when you're good natured and you give all your stuff out, there's other good natured people that will sometimes use it, and then they'll find holes and problems, and they'll come back and say, "Hey, Hesh, like try this one here, do this one here, whatever it is." So it's the giver's gain mentality. There's actually a book on that one.
Go Giver.
The Go Giver. Thank you very much.
I think I got that. Look at this. Boom.
Thank you, sir. There you go. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if
we give that out. We give this out in a whole bunch of books to every new employee and every new customer of ours. We send we send it a boom box. This and a few other books also. So yeah, that's a really good book.
That's my book list, by the way. You can probably see it.
Yeah,
that's
I can.
My all-time greatest.
I see Atomic Habits right there. Yep.
You see Atomic Habits. Oh, the one called Building a Better Brain.
Yeah.
Like that is a critical must. Like that. Like you have to understand, I'm a science background. My undergrad's in biology.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why salespeople don't want to call their old customers, it's the amygdala in your brain. It's your fight or flight mechanism. It's because it takes energy to do it, and anything that costs your body energy works against your survival instinct, which is what your amygdala does. This little walnut-shaped thing at the base of your brain. You got to read like that. That is a critical book. Building a Better Brain.
I'm going to read it, man. That sounds awesome.
It will teach. It's simplified. It's not too sciencey, but it is every reason why you don't like making cold calls. It's every reason why humans don't do this, don't do that. So the more you can control that, which is impossible because it's your fight or flight mechanism. I mean, I'm all about making calls and stuff like that, but if all of a sudden the building's on fire, let all this crap burn in hell, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's fight or flight. It's like, there's a point of my commitment to this industry, this job, my laptop I'm talking on here, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's that book is a huge, huge deal. But thanks for bringing up Go Giver, because that's the giver's gain mentality. It's hands down. It's the question. I never call a real estate agent and say, do you have any buyers? Like, even thinking of that just makes me want to puke. Like, I couldn't even say that. Like, if you watch me on Thursday, it's all about, my question is, how can I help you? What can I do to help your business? Like, even for you guys are nice enough to even put me on your show, for God's sake. I mean, you guys are like sales boom and mortgage coach, like gigantic. And I'm just a loan officer in the middle of Cleveland doing nothing. I mean, I have nothing special at all. And like, I'm on your show, so I appreciate the opportunity and stuff.
Pretty humble too. Pretty humble.
You're too kind, but I don't know. I mean, it's the giver's gain mentality. It's the way to be. So I ramble and I talk and I hijack conversations. So I apologize, but I attend that seminar on Thursday. And if you have loan officers, Rich, that you want me to, that you want to connect, if you want to show them something, I'll give away my seminar stuff to anybody. It's truly how I've gotten my business for 20 years. I've done this for 23 years. I came upon my seminar in April of 2004, and my first seminar was June 16th, 2004. The topic was Ask the Underwriter.
Did you learn that from watching someone else doing it? Like, did you learn this playbook from somebody else?
It's funny because not to drag this out for 10 hours, but so I started this job in October of 99 at a company that just did refinances. In 2001, I'm like, refinances are too rate sensitive. This is just insanity. I'm like, rates go down by 0.1 and I lose my whole pipeline. So in January of 2002, I started chasing purchases. I'd go to realtor open houses. I would go to real estate offices. I would call them on the phone, all this stuff, right? Well, then, so I'm trying to hustle. I'm working to get purchase business, whatever it is. Well, then in April of 2004, I'm talking to my buddy, Mike Deanna. Mike's one of the greatest wrestlers in Ohio history. He wrestled at the University of Iowa. Well, I'm talking to Mike on the phone. He's a real estate agent in Cleveland. He's broke. April 2004. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm driving to a seminar. And I said, well, what kind of seminar are you driving to? He says, well, it's for my real estate license. And I was like, what are they teaching you there? He's like, well, I need it for continuing education. And I was like, you guys need continuing education? I need continuing education, you know? And back then, I can't remember what the hell it was. It's 5 hours. Today it's 8 hours per year, whatever it is. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, so who's talking? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? He's like, I don't care. I just know that I'm getting hours. And I was like, how many people will be there? He's like, just real estate agents. And I said, like, how many? He's like, probably a couple hundred. And I said, a couple hundred? Who the hell's giving the talk? Like freaking Moses or something? And he's like, no, just some. I said, give me the material. So then, like, after the seminar, he sent me what they did. And I was looking, I was like, hey, how can, like, I want to be that dude. And he's like, call the Ohio Division of Real Estate. So in April of 2004, I called the Ohio Division of Real Estate and said, hey, I want to be able to give continuing education hours for real estate. So they were like, okay, go onto our website, do this, do that, fill this out, fill that out, blah, blah, whatever. And I did. And all of a sudden, I got my first topic approved. My first topic was June 16th, 2004. And the topic was Ask the Underwriter.
Well, you know what? I can tell you this right now, just talking to you and listening to you. You're like, I'm willing to give the playbook out. People can go and do this every day. But Khash, you're different than most people. Like, you're willing to do the work. And I think most people aren't willing to do the work. No matter what they say, they want the things. People want the fancy cars. They want the high production and loan volume. They want all this stuff. But actually doing the work is hard work, right? I mean, it's a grind.
1,000,000%. I mean, I go back to the sport of wrestling again, is that I just talked to a college wrestler the other day. He's going to hopefully join our company next May when he graduates college. So he's going to join in a year. Well, I told him, I said, you're in college wrestling right now. I got news for you, dude. He's in a Division I university. I said, there's like 80 Division I colleges. There's 80 other dudes that want to win a national title. I said, when you get into this world, like the quote unquote real world, most people come in late, leave early. They complain all day. They find all of the reasons why something won't work. And they have a defeatist mentality.
Yep.
I came from Oklahoma State wrestling where my college coach like won the Olympics twice. And I mean, like to be just to listen to him talk was always like, you can be a world champion. You can be like, there were no limits. Like there were no limits. It was always like, Khash, you want to win the Olympics, you'll win the Olympics, whatever it was. But it was the work. It was at Oklahoma State. I was surrounded by a group of people who had the same goal I did, which was to be the number one, the best. And they were willing to sacrifice everything to do it. Man, when it was nice weather outside and this and that and the other, we were in that wrestling room, man. We were down in the Dodge in the Galbraith Arena working, man. We loved every damn minute of it. Like, and then today, I mean, look, I got Top Gun on. I got music playing. I can't hear what song's playing. I can hear the music though.
You got Wimbledon on the TV. You've got stuff.
We got Wimbledon over there. They got Spider-Man on the other big screens. And we got food. I'm not sure what's for lunch today. I eat a salad for lunch. I got to watch my cholesterol. But I mean, like this isn't hard. Like, look, I got my buddy's shirt, P Container here in Cleveland. I got my workout shorts on here. We got our gym upstairs. Whatever. It's like,
real buttoned up mortgage lender, right? Like the suit and tie and everything.
20 years ago, I was suit and tie. So I mean, this is work. This is a grind. But man, I'm not out on the street right now shoveling asphalt. I'm not on a roof ripping shingles off a roof. That's hard. If you've ever done roofing, man, that's an intense job, man. That is.
Hey, man.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like, you know. This is tough, but it's not that bad.
Khash, my dad wrestled in college. My dad is from Ohio. My dad used to always try and throw figure fours on me all the time growing up. I had to be on my toes because my dad was coming at me. You know what I mean? I always knew it. And he loved it. He loved it. He taught me to wrestle, but just playing around with him and stuff like that. But my friends who actually wrestled in college, I played tennis in Maryland a little bit. And
no kidding.
My buddies who wrestled were some tough dudes. So I got tons of respect for you.
Did you play college tennis?
College tennis for a semester.
How fast do you serve?
My fastest is about 125.
Damn. That is insane.
That's the best part of my game. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4". You don't see me in person, but I'm 6'4".
So do you remember Ivan Nisevich? I think his name was back in the 80s.
For sure.
That dude was like super tall. So like, do you have then like because you're tall, does that help you come over top hard and just your leverage drills that ball?
Oh yeah, for sure. Taller guys definitely serve harder because of that. Is the pronate
right now?
Oh yeah. I was watching what's his name? The Australian guy that everybody's got the issue with.
I can't pronounce his name. But I know he's he's playing in the quarters now. He might be playing Djokovic. Not Djokovic. He's on Nadal's side of the bracket. He's on Nadal's side. I can't pronounce his name. It's too long. But the Australian, 100%.
Yeah, everybody loves to hate him, but he's super entertaining.
He's gigantic.
Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios. I can't believe I can remember his name.
Have you ever played on grass?
Sure. Man, it's great for someone like me. It's great because the ball goes super fast. I get a lot of aces. It sucks for someone who's shorter. because their game is
Really?
supposed to, oh man, clay court is for someone typically, I would say, I mean, you can't make generalizations across the board like that, but in general, shorter folks like to really grind it out. They chase down every single ball. You know what I mean? You look at your Nadals, and he's not short, by the way, but he definitely is the kind of your typical clay court, like amazing athlete who just really, you'll just play 100 shots against someone and be totally dead. I mean, you'll play like a 5-minute point. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing that clay court specialists live by. Folks like us, tall guys with big serves, do not like clay court for that reason.
How about the
Slows
US Open,
the game
which is
down.
on, like concrete?
Hard court. Hard court is like concrete. It's called hard true, which is like a hybrid, I would say, between grass and clay. Clay slows everything down. It's a grind. You're chasing everything down. Hard court, I think, is probably, in my opinion, it's always been the best court. I think grass is a little pretentious. I mean, I think that's like, go ahead.
Take everything you did in tennis, and all of these little subtleties here, subtleties there. And what I tell people is apply that to mortgage lending. Of one thing for you is you got to drill, like to get good at the serve. I'm sure you just had to freaking stand on that court, practice serve 200 times. In wrestling, I had to practice 500, just relentless.
Way more than 200. And then you got to know your body. If you do too many, you're going to fall apart too. Your shoulder will fall apart. You actually have to like, okay, I'm going to do on this day, then I'm going to take a day off on practicing the serve, that kind of thing. Same with wrestling, by the way.
And the same thing with calling customers. I was just telling one of my loan officers the other day, he just got licensed 4 weeks ago. I said, learn your ebbs and flows, check your data. If your contact rates from 1 to 3 p.m. are low, don't call from 1 to 3 p.m. Go upstairs, go watch TV, go play video games. That's our spider chair behind me too, by the way. If you can see over my right shoulder there, that's a gaming chair back there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you see
I see it.
Stuff like that. So, but seriously, I told the guys, like, hey, learn to ebb and flow. Learn when to pick up the pace. Learn when to push the pace. Learn when to taper down and throttle it down. You can't run at 150. You know how it is. I mean, there's a couple times I saw Nadal yesterday, a ball's far from him, and he didn't even bother chasing it. And I'm sitting here saying, when he was probably 25 years old, he's probably killing himself to chase that ball.
For sure.
Now that he's older, he's like, you know what? No, no, let that one go. I'll say, because he has a much more limited amount of energy. He has a much more limited physical beating that he can give his body. He has to get off of that court as fast as possible. Whereas 10 years ago, he didn't care if it went 5 sets. He's like, let's go into the deep waters. Let's do it.
Yep.
The gentleman you just named talked when they interviewed him. He said, I forgot that I love going into 5 sets. So I was about to lose the 4th set. I was thinking I win 5-set matches. Guess what? When that dude's near the end of his career, he's going to be thinking, man, if they take me into 5 sets, I'm done.
Yeah, so, for sure.
But being a loan officer is the same. It's like, learn your ebbs and flows, your strengths and weaknesses, and maybe you're bad at the introduction of a call, but when you get into the trenches of the phone call, you're the master. Well, then sharpen up those skills on the front end of it. Or, I can run for 10 hours on this.
You could go on 10 hours on a lot of things, Khash. It's a lot of fun, man. I enjoy it. Well, look, I really appreciate you joining us. We're running out of time right here. I just want to say, is there anything any plug you want to give at the end? Anything at all for any loan officers that are listening? Any folks that might want to connect with you? How do you want them to reach out?
Honestly, they can get a hold of me on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, shoot me a message, whatever it is, but more so connect to you, Rich, because you're sort of the conduit with your show. And I appreciate the opportunity you gave me. And with the services you offer, this is how we survive these times is service is getting granular and paying attention to the little details and the little things that we normally don't pay attention to when times are great.
Thanks so much. I mean, I appreciate all the gold you just gave today, Khash. And I hope everybody listening out there, keep hustling. That was great. Thanks for listening. If you like the podcast, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe, and tell all your friends about the show. We at Sales Boomerang started this podcast to elevate the mortgage lending industry by sharing the kind of exclusive, insider knowledge from the successes and failures of the best of the best. The foundation of every successful lender is borrower retention. Sales Boomerang is the #1 fully automated borrower retention system in the industry. 1 in 2 of the biggest lending companies in the United States use Sales Boomerang to make sure they reach out to their borrowers when they need a loan, and more importantly, before their competitors do. If you want to learn more about Sales Boomerang, check us out at salesboomerang.com.